This is something I'm very excited to share. I got to play Overwatch's newest, coolest hero, who I know most of you are really excited for. So without further ado, let's talk about this hero, Sven. But before I get into his kit, let's do a quick history lesson about Sven. Sven first appeared in 2016 in Torbjorn's Destroyer comic, which here we learn he's actually a really talented engineer, though his way of solving problems is normally by taking shortcuts or avoiding the issue, which Torbjorn looks down upon this way of engineering. But even with his weird style of engineering, he was able to re-engineer this Titan unit from the Crisis, so he could pilot it himself rather than it being done by an AI. Torbjorn does end up outsmarting Sven, but the fact he was able to do all this was very impressive, which I'm assuming caught the eye of the dev team, who knew we needed a hero like this in the game. Which I, for one, am very happy that they chose to add him. Now, getting into this kit is going to be interesting, because he has a lot of unique mechanics compared to other heroes. So, Sven's primary attack is a lock-on attack, which he shoots out these energy blasts at enemies that he locked onto, which is pretty crazy they would add this to the game. But I can imagine it's going to be really useful against super mobile heroes, because they can't dodge this, since they will always track down the target. But of course this isn't the highest damage in the game, it's just consistent. Another really useful ability has his secondary fire, which is a special melee attack, which is so powerful that it can actually stun an opponent, which has this really cool swing animation for the punch. Sven's first ability is very interesting. So he has the ability to place down these gas traps, which when enemies enter them, they take damage over time and they get slowed, which is very much like Roadhog's Pigpen, but at a bigger radius, which is just really good to secure an area. Sven's secondary ability is really interesting because it lets him place down this hologram of himself, which actually works like a turret, and you can teleport to it, so you and the hologram swap locations. So this hologram plus his frost cannon is really good against heroes like Roadhog, which I know a lot of you guys don't like fighting Roadhog. So now you got this cool new hero to deal with him. And Sven in general is just such a beast. Like, just looking at this footage, look at how much damage he can do on his own to an entire team. Like, he's shredding through these enemies, and it's just insane they allow this for a new DPS hero. And the fact he's the only hero that's allowed to have like 4 weapons is a really strange choice to me, because he only really needs 1, but they just allowed him to have 4. For some reason. But hey, at least he's fun. Something really cool about Sven is how melee focused he is. So they gave him this weird sight, which is a few different attacks he can do, which is very cool, but just really out of character for the hero to me. He also got this ranged flame attack, which has this overheat mechanic, which if it overheats, he just explodes in flames, which will thankfully damage any enemies nearby. And his ultimate is this weird necromancer style ability, which lets him summon skeleton, which you can slightly control by selecting an enemy they should focus fire, but normally they just go to the closest enemy. You can also make them stand in a line to block enemies, and you can actually kill a skeleton to reduce your overheat, which is a really fun risk-reward mechanic to give him. But that's everything about Sven's kit. He's a very cool new hero, if I would say a bit bloated with how his kit works. I think he's the hero that showed up in the story that deserved the most to become playable. Especially over a dumb character like Case. Like, who cares about a dumb hero like that? Like, he shouldn't be playable. Like, oh, look at me, I'm in the worst comic series in Overwatch. I should totally be playable over Sven. Like, it's just ridiculous. But please tell me, how are you vibing with Sven's kit? And why do you hope this hero could go in the future? Because I think he's a really fun, great addition to the game. And I really can't wait to play as him in Season 10. But that is it for me for now. Have a good one, everyone. And remember, keep pushing for the heroes you want. Wait, what do you mean that Sven's not in the game? Venture? Who the hell is Venture? I've been talking about Sven this entire time.